Welcome to the duck pyramid, where I rate my ducks based on their behaviors the past week. At the bottom of the pyramid this week, we have Donut. As per usual, Donut has been absolutely wreaking havoc on my life, but this week in particular, Donut has been extremely upset every time we put her to bed. She honks and honks and honks and essentially throws a fit because she doesn't want to go to bed on time. Like, it's not my fault that the sun sets earlier than it used to because summer's ending, but she takes all of her frustrations out on me like, girl, I'm not happy about it either. And next up, we have our honorary duck, Chip. Chip's behavior has not improved one bit. He continues to take his bedding and stuff it in his water bowl so that he runs out of water and is then thirsty in the middle of the day when he should be sleeping. I have done everything I can possibly think of, like keeping his water bowl as far away from the bedding as possible, but for some reason he still carries it over because he just doesn't want water available at night, I guess. And next up, we have Maple. Maple decided that he was gonna molt, which means he loses all of his pretty man feathers, right before his wedding, so we had to postpone it. But the good news is now we're having a fall duck wedding. And lastly on this row, we have Bubbles. Bubbles has become extremely possessive over grasshoppers recently. All of the ducks love to eat bugs and grasshoppers and worms and other things. But lately, every single time we bring them a bug into the pen, Bubbles takes it before anybody else even has a chance. I don't think these other ducks have had a grasshopper at all in the last 2 weeks because Bubbles is taking every single one of them. And leveling up, we have Mr. Whip. Mr. Whip is just extra butthurt about molting season because he can no longer fly, so when he comes out of the coop in the morning, instead of just walking down the steps, he just tumbles down the stairs. And I feel like that's his way of protesting molting season, but there's really nothing I can do about it until his wings grow back in. And next up, we have Raven. As I mentioned earlier, the sun is setting earlier than it used to, so I try to push their bedtime just a little bit more so it's a little more dark out when I've been putting them to bed. And Raven here has been using that to her full advantage and using her black colors to camouflage in the pen so that I cannot locate her to carry her to bed. And next up, we have Hash Brown Montana. Hash Brown Montana was recently chosen as a candidate for potentially being able to go out on adventures and wearing a duck harness, so we started harness training her. And harness training has actually gone quite well for her, which I was decently surprised. Usually on their first go-around, ducks are very skeptical and they usually don't even walk around when you put the harness on, but she was just going about her day as if everything was normal, so I definitely see some potential there, but there is definitely a lot of improvement to be had. Leveling up, we have Sugar. I am extremely proud of Sugar because all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she has started bathing herself. Maybe it's because I shamed her so many times on our duck pyramid. I don't know, but whatever she's doing, it's working because all of a sudden, she's clean, she's bathing regularly. She actually sits in the pond for like multiple hours on end, which she never used to do. So I don't know if she just had like a change in attitude or like what, but we're very proud of her. I mean, she's still like really mean, but at least she's clean. And next up, we have Avocado Toast. Avocado Toast was also recently chosen as a potential candidate for walking on a harness and going out on adventures. When I put the harness on Toast, she took to it like a natural. It almost reminded me of how Munchkin took to it when I first started walking her on a harness. And I'm just super proud of her for that. New things can be scary, but she doesn't seem to be bothered absolutely whatsoever by it. We haven't gotten to the leash part yet, but so far with the harness, she's doing absolutely amazing, and I see a lot of adventures potentially in her future. And at the top of our pyramid, we have, you guessed it, Munchkin. Munchkin has done an absolutely quacktastic job with all of her filming duties this week, despite, first of all, molting, and second of all, having her heart broken just a little bit because of the recent news of bird flu creeping closer and closer to home. Luckily for us, it is not in our county yet, but we are having to take up some extra precautions right now, just because it is getting closer to here, and we definitely do not want to have a bird flu outbreak in our own backyard. But despite all of these changes, Munchkin has taken it incredibly well and is just acting like herself and living her best ducky life, filming videos, swimming in ponds, and hanging out with the ducks. And I just wanted to let you guys know that we also have some fall-inspired merch coming out, so be sure to check out our bonfire store, and hopefully I'll see you guys next week.